Hello everyone, welcome on in for the final time this week to Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. It's not only the final time this week, it's the final time of the year that we've been looking at a regular tournament, the Tour Championship starting next week. And for the final time, see how many times I can say final in a sentence, did I say joining me is our senior ATP Tour handicapper, it is Sean Calvert. Sean, this is our last regular tournament of 2024. Where has the year gone? Where has it gone?
I don't know.
It's incredible.
It's gone. That's all I know. I'm not exactly sure where, but yeah, it's gone. I'm sure you can squeeze final in a few more times.
Well, yeah, could be the final ever show.
No, it's not going to be the final ever show. It's been a mixed day of sporting activity in the Calvert household today. No finals, I should say, but my little boy played his first match with the school basketball team today. Yeah, they got absolutely wiped out in every single match. They didn't score any baskets at all.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a mixed bag, and yeah, but I did well. I won pretty much all my paddle matches earlier on today. So
well, mix. I'm changing the subject slightly, but I like telling funny stories of the past. If you watch the Betting Weekly Dojo here on the Betting Weekly Studios YouTube channel, I tell funny stories, and there's a basketball story which I quite like. I was going to Italy. I don't know where I was going. I think it was going to Milan, or I can't remember. I was flying to Italy.
yeah.
Many years ago, and I might have told this story on this show before.
Recall.
There was a whole host of very large black guys standing in front of me, like about 20 of them, like
okay.
20 guys, and I looked at them and I said to my missus, I said, look, it's the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
They're all big and they had like big bags. I thought it was the Harlem Globetrotters, and I thought because I thought what I'll do is when we get to Milan, I'll go and see where they're playing and we'll go and watch them. So this guy was really tall. He was about 6 foot. They're all about big guys. I said to him, are you the Harlem Globetrotters? And he turned around and said to me, no. I said, well, who are you? He said, we are Kool and the Gang. Do you remember Kool and the Gang?
It wasn't 20 of them in Kool and the Gang, surely.
Celebration. There was about, honestly, go and look at the videos of Kool and the Gang.
I won't.
There was about 12, there was about 10 of them. There was a bloke who played the trumpet.
Was there?
Who played the keyboard.
You said there was about 20 of them a minute ago.
Yeah, but they obviously got roadies and like pianists at the back, and it was about like 20 guys, but they were all really, really, really tall. And I thought that's the Harlem Globetrotters, but it wasn't. It was Kool and the Gang. And I went to see Kool and the Gang. I went to see him, ladies' night, get down on it, celebrate good times. Hopefully, we're going to celebrate good times on this last show.
What do you think the chances are of me turning up to a Kool and the Gang concert?
You don't like music, do you?
I wouldn't call that music.
Kool and the Gang are great. It's too hot. The Kool and the
Definitely
Gang. If you
not.
like, put your favourite Kool and the Gang track here. Ladies' night.
Your favourite? I can't think of one.
Get down on it.
I can't think of one Kool and the Gang record. I remember them, but only vaguely.
Fresh, Joanna.
No.
These are timeless.
I don't know about that. Timeless or classics.
Brilliant. There isn't any timeless classics in action tomorrow on the tennis, that's for sure. We have 3 matches. It's not really the greatest of quality on our final regular show of the season because we can only do one tournament because the tournament in Metz has become an absolute farce, hasn't it?
It's been that for about 4 or 5 days actually. Yeah. What's the latest in Metz? We can't possibly do that because they're still playing, and the way they've got the draw is that the ones that are still playing are playing ones that are yet to play. So there's nothing really we can say about that. The only thing that's happened since yesterday is that I think Dimitrov pulled out, didn't he? He didn't fancy it, and Casper Ruud's decided just about to turn up. What, about 25 minutes ago for his match, which is this evening. He was in Oslo, I think, wasn't he, in some fashion show awards or something. And I noticed that he was over there, and he's just turned up at Metz. He's given himself not much time to prepare. And so he's not taking it too seriously. There's all sorts going on. There's lucky losers. There's lucky losers of the lucky losers. There's all sorts going on there, which makes it a bit of a farce. Yeah.
Not the best tournament in the world over it. It's not really the best tournament in the world over in Belgrade as well. And we've got 3 matches, 3 quarterfinals we're going to discuss today. Not really much in the way of bets. We've only got 1 official play, but it'll be a good one. And we want to end the season on a high. We're currently about 5 units behind on the year for this show, but we've obviously got next week to go in the Tour Championships to make that into profit.
Good winner today, didn't we?
Turn that into profit. Yeah, nice winner today with O'Connell. Lovely. Very nice stuff the -2.5, cashed very, very easy. I think he won 6-3, 6-1 in the end. Very, very easy performance. So we have 3 matches all over in Belgrade. And the first match we are going to start with, all quarterfinals, is now the tournament favourite. It's Jiri Lehecka. He is up against Lukas Klein. Lehecka is on that sort of, he's 31 in the world at the moment. And you want to look at seedings. You've mentioned this before, seedings for the Australian Open. Someone who might want to do well here. He's had a tough recent run, though. He's up against Lukas Klein, and Lukas Klein has got a good record against him. Slovakian Lukas Klein, not far from where he lives. Klein leads 4-2 on the head-to-head. A lot of them are in the Challengers, Futures, Czech Leagues, various different things. This is the first time they've met on the regular tour, but Klein has had a decent record against Lehecka. And he's doing all right in this week. He's come through 2 qualification matches, well, 2 qualification matches and 2 matches already to get this stage. And he's had some good wins. Beat James Duckworth, straight sets. Etcheverry, which was a very good win. And Lehecka obviously came through in a pretty tough match, especially in the second set against Marian Cilic. So this is a lot more interesting than these odds suggest. -$3 Lehecka, +225 for Klein, 2.5 the spread, and 23.5 the totals in this one.
Yeah, I think Klein will fancy this on the head-to-head. As you said, I've got 5 matches listed. I don't know what other one you've got there, but was it Czech League or something? I don't know what you've got.
They played in the Czech League with Klein won. Yeah,
so he's won that as well. So was it 4-2 in all?
4-2 I have, but none of these are major tour.
Yeah, I mean,
Challenger.
I've got stats from the ones that we have numbers for, and it's 3-1 to Klein. In the result, in terms of the results, and looking at the service points won and return points won totals, 106-94 in favour of Klein in those 4 matches that we do have statistics for. And Klein, looking into those numbers a bit more, Klein wins 43% of return points, which is very, very big indeed. But that, it was a long time ago. Well, one of them was only last year, actually, wasn't it, in the Prostayov Challenger? So not a million years ago, and as far as Klein's concerned, if he'll be coming into this match thinking, well, I've played Lehecka numerous times, I've got nothing to fear. I've just told you the stats of the head-to-head. It's very overwhelming in his favour. He's playing great this week so far, and he's got a decent record at this level, Klein. He's not played that many matches at main level, but he's got a 42% win rate and a service points won and return points won total of 101. Which is very respectable indeed for someone of his ranking. What's he down at number, where is he, 153 in the world at the minute? Those are very, very good numbers. You think to yourself, well, he shouldn't be 153 in the world, given the stats that I've just talked about there. I've had a look at what he's done against top 50 ranked opponents. He's certainly held his own against top 50 players as well at main level. He's played at least 1 tie-break in 8 of the 12 main level matches that he's played against top 50 ranked opponents. And set 1's gone over 10.5 games in 5 of his last 9. So this is a guy that is not by any means getting overwhelmed or blown away by top 50 ranked players. He's certainly been very competitive indeed. If we look at what he's done so far in Belgrade, he's won 70% of his service points in total, which is excellent. And he's won 65% on his second ball, which is very, very good indeed. And if we look at all 4 matches that he's played in Belgrade, a couple of them were in qualies, he's held serve 88% of the time. So he should come in here with some, reasonable confidence of doing something against an opponent he's very familiar with. Lehecka, for me, he just doesn't break serve often enough against biggish servers. And again, yesterday against Cilic, he only broke serve once, despite being the dominant player from the baseline. Cilic had a pretty mediocre day from the baseline. Lehecka was very good, to be fair. Much, much better than he was against Draper when we backed him against Draper in Paris. He was terrible that day. Far better here in Belgrade against Cilic, but only broke the serve on 1 occasion. I've had a look at what some of the more potent servers have done so far in Belgrade, because it's not, people are saying, it's a bit slow, other people are saying it's quite quick, all this sort of stuff. If you're hitting your spots, you will get your rewards on this court. Medjedovic has won 81% of his first serve points. Lehecka has won 85% of his. Cilic 82% of his, and O'Connell 82% as well. So if you are hitting your spots, serving well, you do get your rewards on this court, as I said. So I think over 10.5 in set 1 is the way to go here, because we're getting odds of plus 175, 2.75. I think Klein's going to come in here with little to lose, little to worry about. He should be confident. Yeah, set 1 overs for me here.
Yeah, set one overs is the price of plus 175. A nice price with Bet Rivers about a player who's in good form, Klein, and he has got the head-to-head record and the ability. He knows he can beat this opponent, and he's there. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. Just checking the website. 5 a.m. in the morning, the time of this match starts, and there isn't many props on the Bet Rivers website at this moment in time. But as the day progresses, and as this match comes closer, we'll be expecting about 35 different markets available on the Bet Rivers website. Remember, if you do have a bet on this match and you do take Sean's advice at over 10.5 in set number one, you'll be able to bet live and watch live with Bet Rivers. This match will be streamed on the tablet or on the mobile or on your laptop, whichever way you choose to watch your tennis matches or place your wagers. Let's move on to our second match. No official play here, just the one official play there on the Lehecka Klein match for the day. But this is an interesting one. Christopher O'Connor, who's done us a good turn in both matches. We gave him a lean in round one. We gave him as an official play yesterday, or today actually, and he won very, very convincingly. And he's up against Denis Shapovalov, and Shapovalov has been a player that's been in the tennis doldrums for the last couple of years, but he's playing quite well this week. He's a very heavy favourite though, minus 225. We are a bit reluctant to bet the Canadian when he's this kind of price. And Christopher O'Connor is plus 175. The spread is 1.5, and the total here is 22.5. Amazingly, given these careers these two have had, they've been around for a long time. They've never met before. So I'm quite staggered by that. O'Connell's done well, beat Kekmanovic and beat Altmaier, ending a bit of a bad run coming to this tournament. And Shapovalov has been in great form. 2 good matches in qualification. 2 big wins in the first round and in the round of 16 over Fucsovics and Borges. I know that you're not a Denis Shapovalov fan and you can't really trust him at his prices, but you've got to admit here, he's out of all the players playing this week, he's a potential chance of winning this, and he's looking quite well actually.
He is, but anything could happen with Denis Shapovalov. He can play a great match. You know, everything's clicking, everything's going well for him, and then the next match it all unravels. You know, that's why he's not done better than he should have done, certainly in recent times. You know, I can't remember the last time he made a final, but it was a while ago at main level. Yeah, it's just a bit short for me. Minus 225. I don't know. I don't have this same confidence in Shapovalov that other people seem to have. O'Connell has a surprisingly good record, actually, against left-handers at all levels, considering that he has that one-handed backhand, O'Connell, which you would think could be rushed by some of the more powerful left-handers, such as Shapovalov. But if we look at what O'Connell's done versus left-handers at main level, it's very impressive. 10-5 win-loss, and a service points won and return points won total of 104. A service hold and break total of 107, and 85% holds of serve. So this is a guy that's not had any problems really against left-handers, certainly the majority of the time. Shapovalov's been playing pretty well recently, but you know the numbers aren't really there for him. His last 10 matches, Shapovalov at main level on indoor hard, 4-6 win-loss, so he's got a losing record, and a service points won and return points won total of 101, and that's with holding serve 90% of the time. I've taken a look at what he's done, Shapovalov, against players with a single-handed backhand, such as O'Connell. Again, it's kind of inconclusive. He's got a slight winning record, 16-13 win-loss at main level. It's, you know, as I say, it's kind of inconclusive. But if you take one player, for example, and I've taken Stefanos Tsitsipas as a player with a single-handed, backhand, and O'Connell leads 4-0 in their hardcourt. Shapovalov leads 4-0 in their hardcourt head-to-head. So, and that's kind of how you would expect it to play out. Shapovalov's playing well, serving well, hitting big into that backhand. You would think a single-hander would be a good matchup for him, but excuse me, the old voice is not too good today. What would worry me about as a Shapo backer is just the inconsistency. He's just said that he's played one of his best matches of the season against Nuno Borges. Is he going to back it up? When he plays like that, you think that he definitely should be top 10, but you know, it's so aggressive, so unforgiving, his style of play. It's all or nothing. When it goes wrong, it really does go wrong. There's no B game to fall back on. There's not a lot of point construction there. I would have him as, if you're talking about tennis IQ, I'd have him down pretty low, to be honest. It's just I'm going to hit the first serve big, and then I'm going to smash it as hard as I can, and then try and put it away. It's not. There's no point construction there. It's just smash the opponent off the court, and if it works well, like it did against Borges today, then great. If it doesn't, and people start putting the ball in places where he doesn't want it, then you've got a problem. I've taken a look at his record just as an illustration, Shapovalov, against what he's done against players that are ranked in the top 5. And he's played 28 matches against top 5 ranked opponents in his career, and he's won 3. And one of those was a virtual retirement that many people will remember from Rafael Nadal when they played in Rome, and Rafa could barely walk, but he insisted on seeing the match out for whatever reason. So he's basically won 2 of 27 matches against the top 5. I know O'Connell's not top 5, obviously. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when people put the ball where Shapovalov doesn't want it, he's nowhere near as effective as he was in a match like today when he could just overpower someone like Borges and it's all clicking. It just doesn't do it for me, Shapovalov. It's too inconsistent. And there's the double fault issue, which sometimes rears its head, sometimes doesn't rear its head. You don't know what you're going to get from him. Look at what they've done so far this Belgrade. O'Connell, 100% holds of serve in his 2 matches. Shapovalov, 96% holds in his 2 matches. So the lean's here for me. I don't like betting in Shapovalov matches unless I can see a very clear piece of value. I would suggest either O'Connell on the money line, plus 175, given his excellent record against left-handers, or the other player at a similar sort of price would be set one overs, given how well these guys have been serving so far, virtually unbreakable. Over 10.5 is plus 163 chance. So a couple of options there for you.
Yeah, I think that over 10.5 is a great play. I wouldn't rule out anybody betting a tie-break in set number 1 as well, because these 2 players have been absolutely fantastic on their serve. Head across to the BetRivers website, as I say, and on the app. The special markets will be going up throughout the process of today, and heads across to that first set, looking for the overs in 10.5 or the 12.5 market, because this is definitely going to be one where it's going to be very, very hard for either player to break. Our final match is an intriguing game, actually, because it's Francisco Cerundolo, who is another player who's sort of hanging around that area to be seeded for the Australian Open. I think he's in around about 30th in the current world rankings. He's up against Medjedovic, Hamad Medjedovic, who is a player that many people thought could break into the top 20 this year. He won the Next Gen last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he won last year, yeah.
Player that everyone thought was going to have an incredible season, blighted by injuries, form dipped, playing a lot of challenger events, but he's now back in his home tournament, and he is playing exceptionally well, the young 21-year-old. Serving beautifully, and he's got a tough test against Cerundolo here. Cerundolo is the favourite, minus 150. Medjedovic is plus 120. Spread is 1.5, and the total here is high, 23.5. Medjedovic looked good against Nakashima, though Nakashima was absolutely out of his feet at long years. Kovacevic won very, very easy, and Cerundolo looked good against Safelin. He also got beat by Tsitsipas. This is an interesting match for me here, because I quite like the Serbian here. I mean, talking about motivation, players lacking motivation. These 2 have got a bit of motivation. Cerundolo to get that seeding high for the Australian Open, and Medjedovic to end what has been an awful year in front of his home supporters. So these 2 players, this will be an interesting watch, this one.
Yeah, I mean, Cerundolo's 29 in the world. I mean, he should be all right as far as seeding is concerned. I can't see him dropping out of that 32, but as you said, Medjedovic, he shouldn't be number 156 in the world, really, with the game that he has. Very aggressive, very powerful, also very emotional and prone to a lot of angry outbursts, a bit like Rublev, really. You feel like he doesn't take much to kind of tip him over the edge. He's not quite at Rublev levels, but he does let his frustration boil over, does Medjedovic sometimes, and that's what's holding him back a little bit, because he's certainly got the ability to be way, way higher ranked than he is at the minute. If we look at what he's done, Medjedovic, at main level on hard courts, 5 of which were that Next Gen tournament that you talked about, which is played with different rules, isn't it? It's shorter sets and basically a completely different set of rules, isn't it? But he's got a record of 10-4 win-loss, 92% holds of serve, service points won and return points won, total of 104. And the Achilles heel that you can see in those stats is the fact that he's only won 32.8% of return points, which isn't enough. As you said, he won the Next Gen, beat Artur Fils in the final almost a year ago. Very nearly made the final on indoor hard in Astana last September, lost in the final set tiebreak in a 3 tiebreak sets match against Seb Korda. Very unlucky not to make the final there. And what he's done so far in Belgrade is, we'll explain the over 23.5. 96% holds of serve, 81% first serve points won, 70% second serve points won, but again, only 32% of return points won. So this is a guy with no problems on serve whatsoever, but needs to up his game as far as the return is concerned. I've also looked at what he's done, Medjedovic, against top 50 ranked opponents. This is very respectable indeed. 8-6 win-loss, and two of those 6 losses were very, very close. That Korda one that I mentioned, and also to Medvedev on clay. I think it was in Rome. That was 7-5 in the third. So very respectable record. And 6 of his last 9 against top 50 opponents have gone over 10.5 in set 1. Again, that fits with the profile that he's got. The many holds a serve, and not anywhere near enough as far as returning is concerned. Obviously, the home motivation is a factor, you would think, for him. This is a big tournament for him. Novak Djokovic is there, isn't he? Watching. Well, he's a mate of Djokovic, isn't he? Medjedovic. I think they're pals. I think he's come over to watch as Djokovic. So, excuse me, obvious motivation for Medjedovic there. A Cerundolo is another one. I find it hard to get a read on him because he's very inconsistent as well. He's actually lost 4 of his last 6 main level matches on hard courts against players that are ranked outside the top 100, such as Medjedovic here. So he's far from a sure thing at minus 150, I think, Cerundolo. Very, very inconsistent. Played well against Safilin, but that doesn't really mean a lot with Cerundolo. He could turn up and just be very, very below par. The consistency isn't there. If we look at what Cerundolo's done on indoor hard at main level, last 10 matches, service points won and return points won total of 99 and a hold and break total of 99. So he's not pulling up any trees with those stats. So I would be tempted with Medjedovic here. He might just want it more. Cerundolo, I'm not feeling a massive motivation from his side. He perhaps should be looking at this thinking I can win this tournament. He should be looking like that. Whether he is another matter. I'd probably have a little lean for Medjedovic here.
Yeah, I quite like Medjedovic. Plus 120. I think, the year he's had, he just wants to end it on a high and show that he's got something about him to win his home tournament. The greatest player of all time cheering him on. I think motivation, we've questioned motivation for the last 2 or 3 weeks on this show. Players coming in this time of year thinking who cares and who doesn't. Well, Medjedovic certainly does care about this match. And I think at plus 120, I'll be betting that tomorrow. I'll be betting that along with your bets on the over 10.5 in that. I also betting over 10.5 in O'Connell Shapovalov. I like all the leans actually, as well as the official plays. So there it is. They're the 3 final matches. These matches will be played on Thursday over in Belgrade. You'll be able to get all the prices on the Bet Rivers app and on the website. Download this podcast, Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. We'll be covering the Tour Championship. We're doing a show on Saturday, looking ahead to that a day early, so set your alarm. Make sure you subscribe to Betting Weekly Studios to be alerted every time a bit of content drops. There is soccer coming tomorrow. It's the European leagues return, Premier League and all the leagues across Europe with the team on the soccer stuff. We're doing okay. We're over 6 units up on the season so far. Roy Giovanni's in good shape in the WTA. Sean has got a week or so to turn around the minus 5 point deficit to a profit. I'm sure we'll do that next week. So we're looking forward to that next week. And make sure you subscribe to everything we're doing here. Also, 11 o'clock Eastern time every single day, Betting Weekly Live. The best bets for that day from one of our handicapping team and one of our presenters. And Sean will be on it next week doing the bets for the Tour Championship because there'll be no soccer because it's international break as well. So the tennis season may be coming to an end, but the content here on the Betting Weekly Studios continues with soccer, live shows, and the Tour Championship next week. So for us for the year on the ATP Tour, we have the Tour Championship, like I say. This is it. This is over. The regular season is over. It's been a very, very long season. Hope you've enjoyed the shows. We will be back next week, and then we're going to have a little bit of it, I wouldn't say long, 6 weeks rest before the season starts up again in January.
Well,
so
I'm doing a challenger at the end of December. At the end of November, sorry.
You?
Yeah. I'm doing a challenger.
Where are you going?
Maspalomas, the biggest challenger of the year. Yeah, we're doing that because we get quite a few requests for challenger stuff. And, as anybody knows, I'm always the man. If you want something, I'll do it for you, not a problem. So yeah,
When's that? When's that?
that is
November?
the end of November. That is.
Wow. Look at that. I didn't know
So you're
that.
getting extra
News to me.
extra content. You see, it's all.
Extra. Well, if the Challengers events, you're going to have it all covered. So when there is no break, why didn't you tell me that for?
Well, I forgot.
A break for the year. Right, okay. All right, well, that's it. Sean's doing the Challenger events. Well, Sean's doing the Challenger events. I'm going to have a break. I'm going to Dubai.
I'm only doing one. Let's not go mad. I'm only doing one Challenger.
Nah. But we'll have you covered. We'll have you covered on socials. Make sure you follow, because we win on Instagram, on Twitter as well. You better follow Sean in Mas Palamas as well. So all the content is there. The soccer's still going on. The live shows, everything's still happening. But for the regular tour and the ATP Tour, this is it for the final show for the year. Good luck with our final bets. I like the three of them. I like the leans. I like the official plays. Thanks for your time, Sean. Have a good one. And we'll speak to you all again on Saturday for the Tour Championships. Take care.